Well, Arthur, it was certainly a derby played with plenty of feeling, but at the end of the 100-odd minutes, how do you think your side fared? Was 2-2 a fair result?
Yeah, probably when you look at it, I think it's a fair result in the end. And like you said, typical derby match tonight, and you expect that from derbies.
I guess it was a fraught atmosphere. Both sides had penalties given away. How do you think your players and maybe the referee as well dealt with the sense of occasion?
I think the players dealt with it well. Yeah, that's for sure. Don't know about the rest.
I mean, there were so many big moments. I guess first one would be your penalty that was won just before half-time. How did you see it? We just had Aurelio Vidmara come in and say they didn't feel like it was a pen at all. Yeah,
well, there's contact there. So it's contact, it's in the box from behind. So for me, it's a clear pen. There's another penalty shout before as well, a handball that's not given. In the end, like I said, it's probably a fair result on both teams. I'm only looking at my team and how we performed, and in hindsight, you look back now and the first half wasn't good enough from us, even though we dominated possession. It wasn't our type of possession. It wasn't our type of football that we wanted to play, and I think we addressed that at half-time, and the response in the second half was excellent. And that was the most pleasing thing out of tonight.
Just Roderick Miranda, a couple of sort of tetchy moments. I think City thought he should have been sent off for that little confrontation with Kewen, and then obviously there was the penalty as well. It felt like a bit of a difficult night for him.
Yeah, these things happen, I mean, after that incident, Kewen's pushed someone as well, on a yellow. That could be a red. There's a bad tackle as well on Santos. Everyone's seen that being given a red many times this year, so we can talk about a lot of those decisions, to be fair, so it wasn't just for them.
How did you find it generally, the atmosphere? Because there were so many flashpoints, so many little contentious moments. It felt like a real proper heated derby. Yeah,
it was, and that's good. That's what you expect from the derby, and that's what you come to expect. It was hot out there as well, so conditions weren't easy for those players. It was very hot out there, and I think, considering that as well, they put in a really good shift, and they fought till the end. They kept going. They weren't content with the draw. They wanted more, and they kept going. And in the end, we didn't get the 3 points, but the draw is a draw, and would have liked to send our fans who filled this stadium, home as winners, but it just wasn't to be tonight.
You mentioned obviously Truan and Kewen could have easily been sent off, and there was the handball in the box that wasn't called. Did you think the occasion may have got to the ref tonight?
You'd have to ask him. I think big occasions, I think they should always put the best referees to ref these big occasions, and that's always a reward for the best referees. And yeah, I don't know if that was the case.
And just the finish from Santos to give you guys the lead, it was a pretty beautiful goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, excellent. And it's everything we discussed at half time. In the first half, we got to the box and we weren't patient enough. We needed to play an extra pass and just stay calm. And we did that in the second half. The composure from Jordi Valadon, not just to play first time, but just to turn inside the box and play that pass. That's high level stuff from Valadon there, and then the finish was outstanding as well.
Just wanted to ask about Brendan Hamill seemed to be hurt in the warm up before the game. Does that look to be a serious injury, or was just a?
No, it's not a serious injury, but he woke up overnight a bit sore, and he tried to warm up and see if he could get through it, and he couldn't, and he didn't want to let the team down. It's a derby, and if you can't be 100%, you can't let yourself down and the team down. So, he made a wise decision on behalf of the team and himself to make himself unavailable. He couldn't get through it, and we make the late change, and Lockie Jackson comes in and gets through 90 minutes in those conditions, which was pleasing.
Yeah, I was going to follow up with that with Lockie Jackson, his first start. How do you overall think he went?
Yeah, solid. I thought Lockie did well. And again, in those conditions, so, you haven't prepared to start the match. You've come here not knowing that you're starting. You start the warm-up, you're not starting, and it changes really quick. And you got to change your mindset very quickly. And then you got the occasion of a derby, you got the heat. And I think... when you look at all that, he's had a good game.
Mitch Langerak, a great name for this club, but I don't think he ever played in a derby. There weren't any Victorian oppositions when he was first here. what did you make of his performance? And also, did he say anything to you in the dressing room about the atmosphere, about the feel after the game had finished? What his experience had felt like?
Yeah, it's funny that he's never played in a derby, and that's true. And I think tomorrow we can have a chat about that. I haven't spoken to him or any player after the match. I'll let them do their own thing, and we regroup tomorrow morning. We have our chats tomorrow. But I'm sure he would have loved the occasion, and playing in front of our fans there when this stadium's full. There's no better place or fans to play in front of than here.
You've now only lost one of your last 5. Really, it was a pretty heated match tonight. You just the momentum seems to be continue building, but a pretty important match coming up against Brisbane for you guys.
Yeah, we take the point tonight. We move forward, and now we look forward to Brisbane. And every game is really difficult, and you can see this weekend already what's happened. And it's important that you take each week as it comes, and you don't look too far ahead because you just can't afford to do that. The most important thing now is, like always, making sure that we come away unscathed as much as possible from a physical point of view. We review our football and how we played, and then we get ready for Brisbane. And it's a massive game again, away up there at Suncorp. It's never easy.
I was going to say, these next few weeks, and you say you can't look too far ahead, but it does feel like every game is massive. How are you finding with it being so tight at the top? Like, that Asian Champions League spot is in and around there for everyone to sort of try and grab. Finals, I think Western Sydney went from outside the top 6 to third at one point today. How crucial is it to really start, I guess, banking wins especially?
Yeah, I think that's great for the league because, it gives everyone the motivation to turn up every week, and not that they don't, but how quickly things can change. You can be playing finals football, you can see, you're a chance to qualify for Asia. There's a lot of things at stake, and, when the competition's this tight, it's great for, I suppose, fans and spectators. For the teams as well, it's always giving you something to play for, and that's why it's important that you turn up every week and do the best that you can, and don't look too far ahead, and then get ready every day for the next battle.
Victory now 8 games unbeaten in the Melbourne Derby, and I guess you have highs in the season, you have lows in the season. You like to say the show goes on. I guess how important is it for the club that at the moment that show includes Victory not losing to Melbourne City?
That's always important. The game itself is really important. The stat at the end of it is sometimes a reflection of that. But the game, at the end of the day, we've played them 3 times this year, and a win and 2 draws, and that's a positive. But more importantly, we look beyond that now, and that's done. There's no more derbies in the regular season, but there's a lot of other derbies for this football club that you're all aware of. We still got Adelaide to play. We still got some big games ahead of us, and some other derbies. So sometimes it's fortunate or unfortunate that at Melbourne Victory you play a lot of derbies, and so we've got to get used to that.
Well, because I guess one of the big conversations around the league is how maybe the Sydney Derby has left the Melbourne Derby behind a little bit in terms of hype and grandeur. Having now experienced a couple in the main chair, do you think maybe people are underestimating what goes into a Melbourne Derby?
Look, it's you look out there tonight when it's our home game, and it's pretty one-sided in terms of fans. You look at when it's their home game, and it's pretty much the same. So it's there's one team that's really, making this derby fill the stands, and unfortunately that's a reality. And you'd like to see more from the opposing team turn up. That's for sure, to make it even a bigger derby and to create even more atmosphere. But it's credit to our fans, whether it's home or away. Our fans turn up in numbers, and that's what makes this club what it is.
Just curious to get your thoughts. I mean, the last derby you had, you were thrust into the chair. It was just only days after Patrick departed, and the club was in a bit of turmoil. But fast forward to the second derby you've had in charge, almost in quite a short amount of time, relatively speaking, you've been able to stabilise, and you guys look like you're headed on the right direction again. Just get your thoughts on just the last the period between the first and your second derby in charge.
Yeah, it's come around quickly, that's for sure. It feels like yesterday I was sitting in his chair for the first time, and it's been enjoyable, and it's always enjoyable when you've got really good staff around you, good people around you, a great team with a great change room. When you have that, it makes your job easier, and it makes your job enjoyable, and that's what I love about this position at the moment. And we've got to keep working because we're not where we want to be yet, and we need to keep working really hard to get where we want to get to, and I believe we will.
Any injuries to report from tonight, or?
Oh, just a couple knocks at the moment. Yeah, just a couple knocks. There's some sore bodies there. There's going to be some really tired bodies there as well due to that heat as well. So, tomorrow is going to be interesting to see how they pull up in the morning, but I'm expecting a lot of tired bodies after that.